What's up, Tokos? It's Trent, aka TradeMark here, and I've gotten quite a few questions about why I'm in a new guild. If you guys noticed in my last video, I'm no longer in Team Instinct, and that is because Team Instinct changed our name to Ascendance. So there's a few reasons for this change. Team Instinct was originally created in 2015 in the game Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And it's evolved a lot since it was first created. It started out as like a single 20-person guild, and it evolved over the last year and a half into a pretty large gaming organization with hundreds of players spanning across both Galaxy of Heroes and Force Arena. And there was only 3 of the original leaders or council members that were still in the guild. That was me, Barack, and Stormy. However, Barack and I were we got burnt out of Galaxy of Heroes. I stopped playing it pretty much like 6 to 9 months after I started it. When I say stopped, I stopped with the leadership side of things on Team Instinct. And I pretty much only did my dailies and raids and stuff on Galaxy of Heroes. But when Force Arena came out, both Barack and I started playing it in the soft launch, and we just fell in love with it. Like, I love Force Arena as a game. I feel like it has amazing potential, and I really like Netmarble as a developer. You know, they aren't perfect. They make some decisions that I disagree with, but overall, I feel like they really care about the experience of the players, and I think they're listening to the community. And compared to developers like CG and Niantic, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, etc., they are like, man, they're night and day. They're a step above. But back to the matter at hand. Back to the lecture at hand. Perfection is perfected, so I'ma let him understand. Throwbacks. Anyways, on the Galaxy of Heroes side of things, there was a disagreement among the leaders there. So because we were inactive, the older leaders, we kind of went and did our Force Arena things. There was a lot of new leaders brought on there, and there was a disagreement there, and basically about half of the players in Team Instinct split off and created a re-envisioned Team Instinct with an entire new leadership. So this group left Team Instinct, but they still wanted to keep the Team Instinct name, which is odd to me that you would leave but then still take the name and claim ownership of the brand or whatever, which is I guess part of the problem when you have a guild like this where there's not really a true leader. There's not an owner. It's just kind of like this group that kind of calls the shots. But anyways, the most offensive part about this entire situation is that even though I was one of the original leaders of Team Instinct, I had no idea like any of this was happening. I woke up one day and Force Arena Team Instinct uses Discord while Galaxy of Heroes uses Slack, and I basically woke up with a message telling me to go check out Slack, and I had received a bunch of PMs asking me what group I was going to go with. And I mean, I literally spent the majority of a day just reading up on thousands of messages trying to figure out what the hell was going on with our Galaxy of Heroes guilds, because like, I don't know. To make a long story short, I felt like this entire situation was handled horribly by both parties, and I don't think that the split needed to happen at all. In fact, I know it didn't, because ultimately the 3 most senior leaders of that guild had to say in what happened to the brand, and I think we could have resolved it between us if that just would have happened. But I didn't want to choose a side between the 2 groups because I respected, people in both groups. So instead, I just left my Galaxy of Heroes account in Team Instinct Delta, which is the best damn Galaxy of Heroes guild ever created. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Shout out to all my OG Delta homies out there. Yeah, that guild has now been renamed by the guilds that left there. But I decided to take our Force Arena guild and just kind of cut ties with the entire Galaxy of Heroes organization and rebrand ourselves, so we are now Ascendance. Now this change has come with its pros and cons. The cons are that a lot of our biggest whales who were only there for the Team Instinct name left the guild. The pros are that we get a fresh start, and we also get to leave the bad parts of the Team Instinct reputation behind. TI had a lot of haters, like a lot. And some of that hate was deserved, but I would say most of it was not. And unfortunately, that hate kind of carried over from Galaxy of Heroes into Force Arena. I mean, I understand why whale guilds are disliked, like why people don't like whales. You know, it's frustrating to play a game and lose against players who have purchased an in-game advantage, especially if you feel that you are more skilled than the other player. But the thing is that most freemium games are funded almost entirely by whales. Like, there's studies and research out there that you can Google that shows that the majority of the funding from freemium games comes from less than 1% of the overall player base. And within that 1%, I mean, it's still skewed extraordinarily high towards the top tip of players. You know, there's players in Galaxy of Heroes who have spent over $50,000 on the game. You know, it's just those top players are so far removed from the majority that they literally fund a huge majority of the game. But you know, it's a symbiotic relationship because they both have to exist. You know, pay-to-play players, they fund the development and the profitability of the game, and the free-to-play players expand the overall player base and they improve the overall experience of the game for everyone. You know, without the free-to-play players, the pay-to-play players can't have the experience in the game that they would like, at least in a multiplayer game where there's competition there. And, you know, these freemium game models, these profit models, if either of those groups are too dissatisfied with the game and they quit, or a large majority of them quit, then the game fails. Like I said, it's a symbiotic relationship. Both of those groups has to exist for those freemium game models to succeed. But you know, anyways, I understand that it's frustrating to lose to players that have these paid advantages, but at the same time, like, I don't think it's okay to hate anyone for someone spending their own money on a hobby of theirs, especially when that money they're spending is also contributing to allowing you to have the hobby in the first place, to be able to play the game in the first place. And yet it happens all the time. So, you know, while I don't condone it, one pro about this transition is that, you know, we're getting rid of a lot of the negative stigma about Team Instinct, a lot of the bad reputation that was created in Galaxy of Heroes that has nothing to do with the Force Arena side of things will be lost. And I won't have to deal with all of the whale hate messages that pop up every time someone beats or gets beaten by Genocide or Hubug, or, you know, all those players with high card levels. So you can go hate on MMX now. They have all the whales over there. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. They're good people from what I've learned about them while they were in TI. But that is kind of the situation there. And now we are recruiting players into Ascendance. There are only a few requirements to join. First and foremost, you need to be respectful to players in-game and in the community. That means no BM emotes. Don't spam Luke spam. This isn't Casino Owners Guild. No Luke cry spam. No BM spam in game. No trash talking in the community. No insulting others. Just don't do it. I mean, everyone's flawed, and there's obviously going to be a little bit of communication banter that goes back between people, but it's just overall, I feel like it's unnecessary. Secondly, you need to be active in the game. Now, activity, active is defined very differently. For our guild, we want to reach stage 10 rewards every single week for all of our guilds. And that means that you need to contribute your share towards the co-op objective. At a minimum, every player needs to obtain their play packs each day and contribute an equal share, which is about, it's basically like 100 turrets per season. And that's pretty easy to accomplish. I mean, I'm able to do that with 3 accounts only by completing my play packs on each account every day. It's like 10 to 15 games per day on a minimum. And on average, our members play a lot more than that. If you're a really hardcore leaderboard grinder, then awesome. That's even better. You're going to compensate for anyone that's, on vacation or whatever. But overall, that's the minimum activity expectation. And if you do that, then you get to earn stage 10 rewards with the rest of our members. Third, last of all, I almost threw up a 4 there. Learn to count, trademark. Third, you need to create an account on Discord, which is the guild chat program that our guild uses for all guild communication. That includes our guild announcements, strategy discussions, 2v2 pairings, tournaments, events, and just in general, it's just where we hang out and talk with each other. It's where you get to know people for more than just a 2 versus 2 partner, which is even more important now that there's no 2 versus 2 rank system anymore. You want to be in a guild with people that you enjoy, that you get to talk to and learn from and get better from. And I feel like we have the most skilled players in the game. Hopefully, there's some type of tournaments or guild versus guild content that comes out. So I love really competitive, equalized card level tournaments. I hope that Netmarble introduces something like that because I think we'll do great in that. But if you're interested in joining Ascendance, I will post a link to fill out an application form in the bottom in the description, and probably I'll pin a comment there. We currently have 3 in-game guilds that they're all Ascendance, but they're just spelled slightly differently. And the top 2 are our primary 2 guilds, earn stage 10 rewards each week, and our 3rd guild is working towards that, and we'll get there eventually. But the way that it works is that you'll start out in the 3rd guild, well, depending on every single week, the top players in that 3rd guild are going to be promoted and replace the least active players in our top 2 primary guilds. So there's always an opportunity for advancement, and the most active players are going to be rewarded with stage 10 rewards each week. So if you're looking for a guild to learn from and earn stage 10 rewards, then go ahead and fill out that application. We'll send you a message and let you know where to join and what you should be doing. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. I'm really excited for this change. I feel like it was time to kind of to shed our skin there and just have a fresh start with everything. I think this will be really good for the guild in the long term, and I'm excited for everything. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Malo, aupito. Peace. I'm out of here.